Just came with Article 6 in Tallahassee, Florida for the rally and tally, pro Second Amendment rally. I'll keep it short. My live feed on YouTube wasn't able to go. There's something going on with the cell phone signal here, so we'll upload some clips later on. About 250 out here total. People come and go a little bit, and so I'll have to upload this video later, and we'll splice in some of the clips I got and go from there. So for Article 6 in Tallahassee, Florida, it's Kent. Where's our guy, Kenneth? See him? I'll find him.
As a student at the university, I don't find this to be the case. The average response time at the University of Florida Police Department is 10 minutes. That is 10 minutes that students are sitting ducks should a coward come and decide to kill as many of us as possible.
Yes, sir.
The Research Council has indicated that people who are able to fight back, neutralize these situations
one more student
at a higher rate than police officers can. These cowards back down the moment they are confronted. In addition,
should be very long, right? And then we'll leave this.
1 second. In addition, these new policies raising the age from 18 to 21 and the banning of assault rifles are completely ineffective. Out of the last shooting since 2009, 2 total shootings have been caused by semi-automatic rifles of people under the age of 21, and only one of those guns was obtained legally. So the cost of reducing one shooting is the infringement of the Second Amendment rights on every single one of you, every single one of campus university students, including myself. I call on you to reach out to your legislators and restore the rights of college students. Thank you.
Yes, Sarah.
Awkward, guys. Sorry.
So proud of y'all.
Don't step on snack.
Turn it back around.
Get it right the first time, guys.
Just don't say to us, right?
There you go.
My name is Victor Santos, and I'm a student at the University of Florida, and I'm the secretary for the same YAF chapter. And I'm here to tell you that this is not about guns. This is a war on our culture. They tell us, you know, they're trying to tell us that they encourage us to have abortions, and at the same time, 1 in 4 black families don't have fathers. This is kind of like the issue that we're having, where
Go ahead, Victor.
this is the issue, because they're telling us not to be educated on our rights.
right.
And our college campuses are the same people that are telling us that the fathers of our Constitution, the founders, were racist, white supremacists, whatever else they'll have to tell you. And it's ridiculous. They had the right frame of mind.
Yes.
And we're here to defend the Constitution.
Yes.
And we're here to defend this country. I came from Brazil 8 years ago and became a citizen 3 years ago. And I know what happens when they take away your guns. The police on the street, they're tyrants. They can shoot you on the street for stealing an apple. And at the same time, you'll see bodies washed up on the beach because they couldn't protect themselves. This isn't right. So I'm here to tell you that all of us have the right to fight for this country and to fight for our guns.
Yeah!
Way to go, Victor!
Excellent.
Great it. Proud of you guys.
Sorry about that.
We're proud of you.
Hey guys,
Good job.
all of us here today are here to say no. Ladies and gentlemen, we are facing a very big problem today. Too many mass killings have been taking place in our schools. And too many times, the answer has been to disrespect the Second Amendment right of law-abiding citizens. It is here that we stand up and say no. You may not raise the age of purchasing a firearm to 21. No, you may not place trivial fire bullets that are less caliber than a machine gun. Others, such as Senator Dianne Feinstein, have changed their own definition of assault rifles over the course of the years, as seen in the 1994 and 2013 gun ban proposals. Just a few days ago, an amendment was proposed to the Florida legislature that tried to ban assault rifles, but it was worded so loosely that it could apply to almost any rifle on the books. How can you expect a ban to be effective if you can't even define the terms correctly?
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, the bill failed, but the questions are just the same. Also, do you intend to ban guns designed for military use? That definition would also include the revolver and even the antique black powder musket, or perhaps the capacity of a magazine. If so, who exactly defines how many rounds I need to protect myself when an intruder comes into my home? It appears the only characteristic that remains is that certain guns look scary. But, I mean, some people think that clowns look scary, so should we ban them too? Now, regarding the concept of gun-free campuses, let me ask two questions. One, why should our Second Amendment rights cease to exist immediately when one steps onto a school campus? And two, is this really a good idea? These are two very important questions to ask and answer correctly, especially when you consider the tragedies like the one that happened in our own state just a few short weeks ago. The answer to the first question is that it doesn't. Our Second Amendment rights do not cease to exist on a school campus. In the Supreme Court case, McDonald versus City of Chicago, it was ruled that the Second Amendment applies to state and local governments in addition to the federal government. So why are school campuses considered gun-free campuses in the first place? It is the undeniable truth that it shouldn't. The idea of gun-free campuses doesn't work because evil exists. Yes. Both on and off campuses nationwide. And according to the Crime Prevention Research Center, over 98% of mass shootings have occurred in gun-free zones. 98%. That is a massive number. Therefore, I say it is the state's duty to get rid of this limitation of the Second Amendment these Second Amendment rights and allow for campus carry. Yes. In the state of Florida. So let me finish where I began. We are here to say no to the further infringement on our rights. No to frivolous bans that achieve nothing. And no to making our schools less safe and less protected. Florida, our Second Amendment rights are being stripped away one by one. What next? God willing, there will not be a next. We have gathered here today in Tallahassee, our state's capital, to ensure that our elected officials know that we, their constituents, law-abiding concerned citizens, stand united to urge them that the time to act is now. Today, we stand. Today, we defend ourselves and our loved ones. And it is now that we defend the Second Amendment of the Constitution of our United States of America. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for all that organizing.
Thank you.
Now let's get to work.
Gary, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm on your Facebook, dude. I see all your videos. You do a freaking kick-ass job.
Try.
All right, brother. What's going on, man?
What's up, brother? for a job believe that PG-13 rating isn't not appropriate for a 7-year-old. Rated R movie is not appropriate for an 11-year-old.
No, he got called out on a family emergency. Okay.
Like I said, 98% of mass shootings occur on country campuses. Clearly, it's not working. So, even going in that direction, I believe is the wrong direction.
I was talking the whole world right now. The whole world sees parts of it and their immediate reaction to restrict more time. Why is it that also where's the separation between the majority of those people who thought that and then yourselves here?
Well, I would say the difference is that, I mean, again, it's great that they're passionate about it because they have a right to be angry. I mean, these kids were slaughtered in these schools, and it's awful. But at the same time, whenever you're making legislative decisions, you can't think emotionally on this subject. You can have compassion for your people, but I'm a biomedical engineering major. Like, a lot of my major is about looking at problems and diagnosing them and analyzing them. And you cannot apply. You have to apply logic to these laws, and whenever I'm seeing this, I'm looking at the Constitution that again is the rule of this land. It's the supreme law of the land of the United States. And
what about their argument that assault rifles, it's not, you talk about for protection, but it's not necessary. So that's what wants to change. When someone says it's not necessary, you have these other weapons. You don't need this one. You know, this is the one that they're using for mass shootings.
Well, I don't think they have the right to tell me whether or not it's necessary. You know, I think I have a choice to, you know.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I know, Ken. Well, he didn't say it.
We should increase armed security at schools. Don't arm teachers. Simply stop disarming them.
Yeah.
The same goes with parents. My right to defend my children during drop-off, pick-up, and field school trips is currently unconstitutionally infringed. End all gun zones, all gun-free zones on public property now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
One false claim against you could strip your Second Amendment right without due process. It's not a good idea. We were never meant to operate under guilty until proven innocent. Yes, we need to address mental health problems without stigmatizing the mild cases. We need to stop domestic violence. We need to punish real criminals. Leave the rights of law-abiding, we the people, alone. They are not up for debate. You swore to protect and defend the U.S. Constitution, so let's do it.
Yeah,
Take guns away from our American people. Who are going to be the first people to kick down your door and take your weapons? It's the police. There is no movement for liberty that involves arming the people that doesn't also involve disarming the police. Think on that. Liberty means protection from government, not protection for the government against others. Liberty means the right to do as you please. And who are the first people to use violence against peaceful Americans? The police. Think on that. Thank you.
Fuck Nazis! Fuck fascists!
Get the
fuck the cops!
out.
Fuck fascists! Fuck police! Fuck Nazis! Fuck the cops!
Felicia, you can get the step in. You can get the fucking step in. Get the fucking step in. Fucking socialist communist. Fucking commie.
Get him out!
Get the fuck out, commie. Get out, commie. Get out, commie.
Get out, Cohen!
Get out, commie.
He got exactly what he wanted. Everybody paying attention to him.
And then run. They don't like to say what they have to say.
Back the blue!
Well, yeah, we just said we support law enforcement officers.
show, The Voice of Freedom Today, on Real Talk 93.3 here in the capital city. As I was driving up here this afternoon, I had a couple of phone calls. And I'll get to that in a second, but I wanted to address the gentleman that was up here that left abruptly. Yes, abruptly.
Not of his own free will.
Excellent choice of words. Probably wisely. You know, having him come up here and do what he did, it was interesting because of the contrast. When the anti-gunners assembled their emotional spew here just a few days ago, you did not hear any voices of dissent. You didn't hear any difference of opinion. You didn't hear from us. But you are today, and you do every day. And that brings me back to the thoughts and the phone calls that I had driving up here this afternoon. I was late getting here because I was in the woods with a bunch of wonderful people making tomorrow's leaders. A bunch of Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts. That do business in the old-fashioned tradition, which is unfortunately today the exception to the rule. It's led by a bunch of great men. Many of them are active in retired law enforcement and military, God-fearing, and ultimately patriot-building in their ministry of helping us to raise these young men for the future of this nation. So as I was leaving there and I was hurrying to get here, and I'm still smelling like a campfire, which I think is very, very scent attractive.
Oh, man.
And my phone rang and I was talking to some folks and they were asking, hey, what's the crowd like up there today? And I had seen some pictures and some video, and I said, well, it depends on how you look at it. If you just go by numbers, it's a whole lot smaller than the representation that you saw here for other events. But if you think about it the way, look, it's not my material. I think God put it in my heart. And when I saw this crowd, I knew he did. One of those callers said, well, where is everybody? And I said, where do you think they are? They're the same place they are every single day. They're in the woods with their scouts. They're in church. They're with their families. They're running businesses. They're wearing uniforms like these heroes out here today. They're protecting the fabric of our civil society, and they're building a better tomorrow in America. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we do. We don't get upset and emotional and demand that people do stupid things and deprive law-abiding citizens of their God-given, constitutionally protected rights. That's why this crowd looks like this. Because we're busy making it possible for idiots to make emotional spew to steal your liberty and that of your children and their children. That's why this crowd looks like this. But let there be no mistake. There are millions of us, and we're quiet, and we're busy, and we're doing all those things that I said we're doing. Because at the end of the day, the stakes in this are very, very high. The legislation that is being proposed, and even some that is going to pass, mark my words. I said right after the shooting, when the workshops were going on here in town at the request of the governor, I said, you can't throw this much emotion at something and not have some consequences. This is scary stuff. And some of this legislation, even after it's stripped down of the worst, is still ultimately going to contain language that is a slippery slope to the banning of every popular firearm in the United States of America. That's how high the stakes are. That's why you people stop doing all of those things we talked about to come out today.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Woo! But that team I was talking about, which is millions and millions strong, hasn't even taken their cleats out of the closet.
That's right.
This is scary because it's going to a bad place. Most of the emotional crowd on the other side doesn't realize it, they don't understand it, they haven't thought it through. Sadly, those who are driving that party have. And they understand that the logical outcome of this is a war. I won't call it civil, because it won't be. Those are the stakes. It's a sad, frightening day, but we are absolutely on the right side of history.
Y'all don't know me. My name is Thomas Wayne Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm from Fayette County, Florida.
Woo!
This all started, we got together, and I was honored enough to be part of this right here as an organizer, and I'm honored for that. These men have done a great job putting this together. On another note, we live in a rural area. Some of us that live in these rural areas are 45 minutes away from help. We have 18-year-olds living on their own farms with their family. But they live on their own because they're hard working. They get off of their ass and they go do something.
That's right.
What are they going to do? How are they going to protect themselves? Y'all just signed their damn death warrant by telling them they can't own or possess a gun. People have showed up, and by God, hats off to everyone that did. Thank you so much. But look at how many should have showed up. If I can get off my ass and help these guys put this together and get it together, if I can get off of my ass and drive 1,370 miles from Alba, Oklahoma, and take a week off of work to show up, why in the hell can't you drive 60 minutes and show up?
Woo! Yeah.
I spent 24 hours in the pickup getting here, and the whole time I was here, 3 o'clock in the morning, this thing was ringing for this rally.
Amen.
Ringing. It ain't stopped today.
Come on.
People, we have got to wake up. An armed society is a polite society.
Amen. Yeah.
We have rights given to us by our Lord. Our forefathers made sure that we knew we had them rights. They wrote it down in quail pen and ink, and to let us know, never forget that we have these rights.
That's right.
We are the people. And these people in these halls need to know that they work for us, that we are the people that signed their paychecks.
That's right.
Not these people that are backed by Hollywood celebrities with armed guards. But yet they say, take our guns from us. These people that follow in these hallowed halls don't think for 1 minute they don't have a security detail. Don't think for 1 minute they don't have somebody at their house waiting for some fool to come try and get in their house. All we have at our house is us. Us and only us. And I, for one, I will leave this as my closing statement. United we stand, separate we fall.
If you disagree with the government, it is considered a mental illness. Authority defiance disorder, it's considered a mental illness now, okay? So you have to be aware of that, because even if they give a little bit, like Scott wants to give on, we're going to focus on mental health, we're going to focus on mental health. This mental health issue has to be well written, much well written, instead of broad stroke like they're doing now, okay?
all the media is left. Some of the media is left. Not all the media is left. I don't think CNN showed up today. You know why CNN didn't show up today? Because this isn't an activist movement. CNN is no longer a journalist organization. CNN is now an activist organization. Last week, CNN held a town hall. It was not a journalist town hall. It was an activist town hall against the NRA. We had people, it was a scripted. We had students from Parkland that came out that wanted to talk about gun advocacy. They wanted to talk about gun rights, but they were silenced because CNN scripted. CNN had scripted. I get worked up. CNN would not allow these students to say what they wanted to say. CNN is now an activist organization. They are no longer journalists. CNN was not out here today. I wish they were out here today, because I would have called them out. But what happened today? We organized this rally in less than a week and a half. This was a true grassroots organization. This was a true grassroots rally. Less than a week. Less than a week. Less than a week. A week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, the Democrats had the Parkland students bust in. They had them bust in. Paid by the March for Women organization, by the Miami-Dade Democrats and other organizations. They put them up in hotels. They pay for their room and board. Did anybody out here today get paid for room and board? No. Did anybody get paid for coming out here today? No. Today's Sunday. Today, we don't work on Sunday. We all came out here today because this is a true grassroots organization. This is a true grassroots movement. This is we the people wanted to come out here today and say, we the people wanted to come out here and speak. But you don't see the news media out here today. You don't see CNN out here today. What I'm trying to say is this is the real people. This is the real Florida voters. This is the real people of Florida. We the people. When they come out here and they say, what does democracy look like? And I know we're a constitutional republic.
At a time until there's nothing left. The Second Amendment isn't about hunting.
Amen.
No. The Second Amendment ain't even about self-defense.
Amen.
The Second Amendment is there to protect us from our own government.
That's right. That's right.
I guess that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on.
One more quick thing I forgot to mention. We seem to lose, it's starting to fade this narrative that the fault of Parkland, this wasn't the fault of the NRA. Last week, the students came out here, they whined and cried. They wanted to blame it on the NRA. They wanted it to pass an assault ban on so-called assault rifles, which is a verb. We're all up here and we can agree. The word assault is a verb. But we are slowly starting to see a fade in who truly was at fault. The Broward Howard Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Scott Israel and his deputies who stood outside of the school that were armed and listened to these students get massacred and did nothing. The FBI, they were tipped off. The Sheriff's Department, they were notified 39 times.
I watched my father in and out of jail, fighting for the rights that he believed in. He was jailed, kidnapped, and under threat, duress, and coercion, forced to sign his rights away. Forced. Corrupt politicians have no place in our country or our state. They don't. With that, God bless, and carry on.
Yeah.